Do your guitar solos sound a little boring, a little bit lifeless? Most guitar players think that they need more theory to make their solos better. And they eventually will, just not yet. I show you what I mean, and I show you a few ways to make your guitar solos absolutely amazing. If you don't know, my name is Ryan Gunn. I've been helping guitar players for over 20 years, really bridge the gap between the creative ideas and what they're able to play, becoming fully fretboard fluent. If you would, hit the subscribe and bell notification to get more videos on how to make your guitar soloing better. Let's jump in to this video and talk about this sort of part one, is the theory trap. If I put on this backing track, I'm going to stay just in my very basic first position minor pentatonic, and it's going to be lifeless, boring, that plateau that we start reaching pretty early in our improvisational career. Not much going on there. So let me add a couple of notes that are not in my minor pentatonic and see if that helps. That certainly didn't do it. Modes. Let's try modes now. Nothing. To be honest, I like the first one better than the next two. From here, we can even get into like adding a Lydian dominant, maybe a Phrygian dominant somewhere in there, right? Like a half diminished run to really build up the tension, maybe on that 5 chord. Give it like an altered sound if I wanted to. Again, this is getting much further into theory, but the solo is still not saying anything. Again, to be honest, they're getting worse. I feel like there's some cohesiveness to sticking to fewer notes here. And it's almost like we have the foundation of the minor pentatonic, and that's already shaky. That we're like trying to build more on top of it, and that shaky ground is making what we're building on top way, way worse. I mean, that just takes away the idea of like, oh, my solos are boring. I need more scales and more theory to sort of throw on top of it. If I go back to my minor pentatonic or my minor blues in first position, it is going to sound way better, just minor blues. listen, you may not have liked that example, but just staying, I mean, primarily in that little box of the minor pentatonic, moving down here a little bit, there's a lot more being said there than trying to jumble up a whole bunch of nonsense from information or theory. Now, things to watch out for are your rhythmic phrasing, right? We're letting things breathe a little bit there, and our rhythms are not the same. Just that, if I were to count that out, right, where those notes sit is not. Right, that's what it sounds like when it's really boring, and whether it's the minor pentatonic or. It doesn't really matter if that rhythm isn't giving us something. And a really great way to do this is we generally get stuck in this 1 and 2 and 3 and, or the quarter notes somewhere in there. If we can think about pushing the window of speed up, that can allow us to take the quarter notes and the eighth notes down. So when you just have something like, right, I can just having those first 3 notes, right, can lend me that note before the resolve, right? Now I have, just in a short span, a bar or 2 bars or whatever, I have these faster notes, and then that lends me to do longer notes. If I don't have those fast notes, that little bit of burst, and I'm stuck in that sort of when I get to, that's not a rhythmic variation enough to make it exciting. Where if I have a nice burst of something fast, I can bring it down and have something slower. Best exercise for this, my friends, is just putting a metronome on, letting that metronome kind of roll. Tap your foot. If you need something physical, just tap that foot. Play 1 note. Play a couple of notes on the foot tap, a couple of notes not on the foot tap. And what you'll notice is, even if you're doing, it's still not, it's not very exciting. Put that metronome back on, get your head to move a little bit, right? If you can start just doing this 1 note, we're taking note choice away, we're taking scales away, we're taking tension and resolution away, which we didn't talk about just yet. And we're just gonna, a little groove, right? If I do, okay? Play it, repeat it, play it, repeat it. That way these motifs and a bigger and better rhythmic vocabulary kind of gets instilled in your brain. Then when you kind of move along and you're playing into the scale, that makes its way into your playing. When we get a little overwhelmed with what we're supposed to play, oh gosh, what's the next note of the scale? You know what I mean? So just trying that and letting that, if you have one, well, that's cool. What if I did? Right, something cool, a little play off of something rhythmic that you can come up with. The next is going to be our tension resolution. That is going to be, can I build tension? A simple way to do it is just not giving away the root note of the scale. And the best way to do that is to dance around it by getting close, but not quite on it, right? That's why if I start, that's my flat 3. Look at the note. If I play my minor pentatonic, the note in descending, right? Because I went there to here. It's my root note. That note is next to the root note. That creates a tension, a wanting for that root note. If you could play a lick that's rhythmically interesting, that lands on a note next to the root note in the scale. Play the same thing again and just add your resolution. For this part of the video, just focus on the last note, and especially what just brings us into the space between the phrases. So even though it's a tension phrase, because I'm landing on that flat 3 and then I have the space, I'm hitting this note a few times. Right? I'm hitting the root note a couple times, but the most important note for this particular exercise is going to be what the phrase ends on. In this case, that flat 3. Then I can play the same thing again, and then resolve it with the root note. So just, I don't want you to think that you have to avoid the root note when you're playing your lick that's going to give you the tension, and then you have to avoid the tension notes to play the lick that is going to give you the resolution, right? Just passing through is totally fine. We're focused on the last note of the phrase. Now, the root note of the scale, the one of the scale. Now we're building an emotional arc. Ooh, I want that root note. I'm not going to give it away until I can build that tension up and then release it. Build the tension up more by dancing around it even more, not giving it away. We tend to give it away because if I'm playing that, when I play, oh, that sounds nice. Oh, that sounds nice. That sounds nice. Right, we can really hear that root note first before we can hear some of the other tensions and the other tones of the scale. So we tend to give it away too much. Keep that in mind while mixing up your interesting rhythms and the breathing room. That breathing room is really going to help. We're not in panic mode. We're like trying to fill up all the space. We're doing it very mediocrely. That's going to be the main meat of your better guitar solos. And then from there, start adding some slides, a little bit more vibrato, some bends from there. A really, really great sort of spice to add in there is your volume dynamic. Don't just come out swinging at, at like 70%. Bring it down low, bring it up high. Listen to your favorite guitar solos and soloists and see how they're using the pick and kind of swaying that volume dynamic. All of this is going to add emotion to your guitar solos. From there, the important part is, we were saying before, it's not that theory doesn't matter. It definitely does. It's just you need to learn how to say a lot in just that minor pentatonic. And then we can start adding our chord tones, right? Our triads, doing an arpeggio run, maybe doing some enclosures and some chromatics, getting into molds, altered harmony, all of it, but if we can't make those 5 notes of the minor pentatonic sound expressive, 15 notes and triads and arpeggios and half diminished runs are certainly not going to help. So this is going to help you sort of tell a story. And then as you're adding, your Lydian dominant, it's going to make the story that you're telling that much better. It's going to expand your vocabulary rather than, if you're trying to learn like another language and you're just like, oh my gosh, I could barely get through like, hi, how are you? Where's the hotel that I'm looking for, when I'm in Spain. You think that if I say, oh, maybe I should memorize a whole bunch of other phrases, it's going to make you far, far too overwhelmed. So you got to build that sort of foundation of musical communication. So if you do feel stuck in that, boring, repetitive, stuck in boxes sort of guitar solo plateau that we all get into, you want to feel way more fluent on your instrument, I put together a free training, 3 steps to full fretboard fluency. That is in the description, and it's going to be in the first comment. I break down like this exact framework that I help players connect the theory and the knowledge, get past the overwhelm, and take that into musical expression. So that link is below again, and thank you so much for staying till the end of the video.